Hi guys, it is me, your artist friend, artist Alex Ever, and we are with our final video today where we're going to be taking our natural materials that you found and turn them into a temporary nature collage. I'm so excited to keep making things with you guys, and I hope this is going to be so much fun. We get to be a little bit more creative today as we make nature collage creatures. So this is going to involve you using some of your imagination and pulling things and ideas from nature and other creatures and animals that you know and you've seen. So I'm very, very excited to get started with you guys today. Same thing with materials. All you need is a flat space. This can be a chair, a floor, a table, to work and arrange your materials. And then also found nature pieces all over from trees and the ground. It could be rocks, leaves, all the lovely things that you found from your nature treasure hunt. So we have all our things. Let's take a nice moment of mindfulness. So wherever you are with your body, shake out your arms, push your shoulders back, move your head from side to side. And then I want you to sit comfortably with your hands in your lap. And what I'd like to do with you guys today is actually the first moment of mindfulness that we did together, which involved us clenching our fists. So let's try that one today so we can get our fingers and hands ready and connected to our body. So I'd like you guys to breathe in through your nose, and let's do the count of 7. Ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. And we're doing that with nice, even breaths in and out. Now we're going to get our hands ready for the fist clenching part. Ready? So as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in through your nose and clench your fists as tight as you can. So ready? Let's breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to slowly release, breathing out through our mouths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Let's do it one more time, and I will count for you guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's do it one more time. This is going to be our last time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And slowly release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Feel free to take another breath if you need. You can shake out your hands if that feels good for you. I love doing this exercise because I can squeeze as tight as I can, and I can try to stay focused on doing nice, even breaths so I feel like I'm connecting my mind and my body together. So now that we're ready, let's get our materials ready. So you can see on my screen, I have a lot of different materials that I've been showing you guys in my videos. And just as a reminder for you guys, same thing applies. We want to lay out all our materials so we can see everything, right? If it feels good for you, you can kind of take the time to organize things in nice, even piles. If that feels a little hard or overwhelming, or you feel like maybe you can't focus, put things in piles together. You can kind of clump things together so you can see everything. And this is just a way for you to connect your mind with your materials, to see all those differences that might have occurred. Maybe something broke, and that's okay. Maybe something has changed colors or something has curled up a little bit more. We just want to take that time to look. So once you got your materials ready, we are going to set up your workspace. And this is kind of preparing us for the idea of something being temporary or not permanent. So something that we are going to change. Because remember, with our project, we're not going to glue it on paper and keep it forever. We're going to wipe it away when we're all done. So I'm going to set up my workspace by moving all these piles so I can have all that lovely space to work. I have leaves, I have seed pods, I have some flower petals. Let's move those over there. Move these daisies down here and all my rocks. Awesome. So I have a nice clean space, and my space is pretty big. Maybe it helps you, or maybe you only have the size to work on a piece of paper, and that's all right too. So once I have my workspace set up, we're going to begin to make our creature. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is think about one of your favorite animals. This can be a magical creature, it could be a bug, it could be a bird, it could be a pet. I want you to imagine that creature, and we're going to use that as our main idea for our collage creature. And we're going to use the shapes and ideas of those animals to build our creature, and maybe we're going to change a few things here or there. And I will lead you through this. So if you think, oh, Alex, this is a little overwhelming, I don't know where to start, don't worry, I got you. We're going to do this together. So for me today, I want to start with the body of my creature. This is going to be step 3 after we've set up everything and we are all ready to go. And one of my favorite creatures that I really like are really fuzzy, hairy, big cats. So I'm going to be making a big, fuzzy, hairy cat out of my different nature materials. But if you want to do something different, that's totally okay. We're going to start working with different pieces of their body. So the first step is create the body. So what do you think that kind of big center part is going to look like? I have these different pieces of lichen and moss, and I'm going to arrange these to make a big, fluffy, hairy body. And one of my favorite things about nature collage is if you don't like a shape, you can always squish it and move things around. So I think it's a really fun way to just remind yourself that, hey, you're in control and you get to do things like the artist you are in the way that you want. I like this. I like how fuzzy it looks. Awesome. So now that I kind of have that main body, which kind of looks like a weird lump right now, I'm going to add the legs. So we're going to move to step 4, and this is, how does your creature move? Maybe if it's a bird, it has 2 feet and some wings. If it's a bug, it might have a lot of different little legs. So think about how your creature moves. And we're going to pick out different materials to stand in for those legs. And for my cat, I have over here some sticks. And if I wanted, I'm going to scoot the body up just a little bit. If I wanted, I could use these to make the legs of my cat. I could make it look like my cat is jumping But I also could use different materials instead of sticks. So I think it's fun to kind of look at something and say, hey, maybe I have another option. Maybe I can switch it out. And I actually really love the pine cones because I think that the little ridges on my pine cones help share that the cat's really fuzzy and has a lot of fur. And sometimes things may move. Like you can see me kind of fiddling with the pine cone, and that's okay. I think that's a great reminder that you can just slow down and take it easy. There. So I kind of like how chunky and small these legs are. I think this is going to work great. And just a reminder, just like how I did, you can switch things in and out, and that's great. If you're not really sure of what to choose the first time, do what I did. Switch some things in and then move some things out. It's totally okay to play around with things. You don't have to have the right answer right away. So once you've taken that time to have your legs and organize what those are going to look like in a way that feels good for you, we are going to move on to adding a head for the creature. And usually with the head, right, there's a face, there's eyes, there's a mouth, there's maybe ears. With an animal, it could have a beak or different funky things going on with its face. But we're just going to break it down, and we're just going to make the shape of the head. So for my cat, I think I'm going to start by making a circle for the head. And I like the idea, for me, of leaving space on the inside so I can maybe add eyes and a face. I'm actually going to scoot my cat down just a little bit, so I have plenty of room to work. Awesome. And if you need to scoot things too, totally okay. So once we have your head, that's going to kind of be our starting point to be able to add some extra detail. So we're going to move on to step 6, which is adding little extra detail here and there. And this one is where we can take a little bit more time because you might need to figure out a few different details. Like for my cat, I know cats have some very cute ears on their head. So I'm gonna play around. I feel like those aren't big enough for what I would like, but I do have some awesome red leaves that I think would make a wonderful cat ear. Awesome. So I have that right there. And once I have that, maybe I say, hey, maybe I want bigger ears, right? I could do that too. I like the idea of these ears being really big. So take that time to play around with what you need to play around with so you can find those details that make sense, right? Maybe with a bug, you have some really long, beautiful antenna. So maybe you want to choose something that looks like a line, or you want to take the time to lay out a bunch of little rocks to make that shape. Whatever works for you. And this is also a great opportunity where I said we're adding a little extra detail, right? It's not just adding to the head. I have a lot of other extra details that I feel like I'd like to add now before I start working on the face. So if I'm doing a big, fuzzy, fluffy cat, it definitely needs a tail. So I have a lot of different things that I could use And one of the ideas I had was I have this kind of bunch of long pine needles right here. And I could take all of these off and I could arrange this in a big fluffy tail. But I actually really like this piece as it is. And this can make an awesome fluffy cattail. That looks great. And if it's a cat, maybe it has claws, right? Maybe this is, let's see, an opportunity to use something that's a little bit smaller. So I have little rocks, and I think that would look neat. These could either look like claws or the little toes on the cat. So I'm going to arrange those right there. And if you're having a hard time thinking about what your animal looks like, it is always okay to look at a picture. If that is something that feels kind of overwhelming for you. But remember, we'll have the opportunity to change things. And maybe we can make it look a bit sillier or more magical. Yeah, I like how that looks. So adding a little extra detail, step 6, it can be as short as you need or as long as you need. I really just like taking the opportunity to add things here and there. So moving forward, which is step 7, which is finally making the little face for your collage creature. And what I like to do, I've been working with some larger pieces like the tail and these leaves. I like looking for smaller materials to help me make those lines and things that I need, like the details of the curve of the mouth or the shape of the eye. So for a cat, they have a very cute nose. So I'm actually going to pick out a rock that I like for the nose of my cat. Excellent. I like putting that kind of in the center to help me out. And now I'm going to do a little smile for my kitty. There. And right here. Awesome. Maybe I almost want to make that smile bigger. So I'm going to, it's kind of hard to see because it's so little, but with my petal, with adding these little details, I think it's fun to bend it. And I think that helps me add extra detail here and there. So I'm actually going to bend that some more. And maybe you're thinking, oh, that's a lot of work just for that tiny detail. But if that's what feels good for your piece, go for it. All right. And I'm still working on that face with step 7, but I'm missing something. My cat can't see right now. So I need to add some eyes. Now I could add some more tiny rocks. That would look good too. But I want to see what it looks like if they had little dried daisies for eyes. Yeah, I think that looks really neat. Awesome. So this feels really good for me. However, I don't feel like it's done yet. I still have, for my cat, I'm imagining that creature. What does it look like? I'm taking a moment to think in my head. And I remember that cats have whiskers. So I'm going to look at my materials again for something that could be a whisker. Now I have some flower stems that I could use. These are pretty small, but I'm actually looking at the tail right now, And I'm thinking if I take off some pieces, these would actually make really good whiskers for the cat. So I'm going to take a moment to take these off. And then I'm going to add it right back to where I had it. And now I have some awesome pieces that look just like whiskers. So I got to take the time to stop. I looked at my materials. I said, you know, I already used a material for something, but that's okay. I knew that it was all right to take it apart, to use some smaller pieces. And, you know, it's not permanent, right? So I don't have to keep it here. It's not stuck. So now I'd love for us to move on to step 8. So we spent a lot of time working on the face because I think there's a lot of lovely detail there. But now I want to kind of move to our final finishing moves. So I have a very awesome fluffy cat. I love how fluffy his body is and the tail. However, I really like the idea of taking this piece and adding a few extra things to make it more like a creature or a magical creature. So this is where I invite you guys to really get creative and potentially a little silly and to add things here or there. So maybe instead of 4 legs, I want to give my cat 6 legs. So I'm going to scoot some things here and there. Awesome. Taking that idea and moving things around to make something new and fun. So now I have a cat with 6 legs. And maybe I really like the idea. I could always add wings to my cat. Maybe it's a dragon cat. So I'm taking those same red leaves that I had for the ears. I'm moving the whiskers a bit. Oh, and that's a great example. I moved one thing and it pulled some others. And that's totally okay because I get to move it back. Neat. So I kind of have some fun, scaly looking red wings. And if I wanted, I've talked about maybe your favorite creature is a cool bug. I could add antenna to my creature. So now it's a cat, bug, dragon with 6 legs. So take this time, add things for your creature. Maybe you want to make it have magical powers. Like I could have my cat dragon with antenna and 6 legs. I could arrange all of my flower petals and make it look like it's breathing fire. So something that I would have had maybe a harder time doing if it was something with a pen and paper. It's harder to move things around, but with nature collage, I can look at all of my pieces. I can get inspired by fun shapes, and I can scoot things around here and there to take something like a very cool fluffy cat and then turn it into an awesome collage creature. So take the time you'd like to play around, to move things. Maybe you want to ask your guardian for fun or silly ideas, right? This is your creature. This is your creation. You are the artist, so you get to decide what feels good for you. And then once you are all done, remember, we're going to wipe it away. So this is a great opportunity. What I like to do, I have a camera on my phone, so I like to take pictures before I move on to cleaning up so I can show people that I love and show them how proud I am of my creation. And then once you're done, we're going to move to step 9, which maybe is hard for some people. And this is cleaning up, and this is when we take our piece apart. So I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to wipe it away. So I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, awesome cat dragon bug that breathes fire with so many legs. And I take it apart. And like I said, maybe this is hard for some people, and that's totally okay. You can leave it there for a little bit of time. Maybe you want to show someone in person what you made. But if we think back to the very first thing we made, if we didn't take that apart, I never would have had the pieces to be able to make my really cool collage creature today. So I think it's really important to give yourself the opportunity to play around and work with things and get creative. And as you can see, I'm laying my things out again. I'm putting them back into piles. I'm thinking about what I made and maybe what I want to make next. So this is an important part to clean up your work and make sure that they don't get stuck together. And then when you're done, I think it's always important, and we'll do this together today, we'll have a closing reflection. We get to reflect on what we did. So I invite you to kind of like your moment of mindfulness, shake out your hands if you need, push your shoulders back, move your head, sit in a comfortable spot, and I invite you to close your eyes. So breathing in and out, I want you to take a moment to think about a choice you made when making a creature that you're really proud of. Maybe that is when you had a piece of material break, but you knew that it was okay and you ran with those changes anyway. Or maybe you came up with a really funny idea for your creature. Or maybe you're really proud of all the time you took to work on one specific section. So whatever that is, think about it. And I want you to recognize and appreciate all of the great work you did, because you are an artist and you just made something cool and creative, and you have a great imagination. And I really want to encourage you guys, just like I mentioned, we're done today with each other and making a lot of fun shapes and creatures and animals. But what else could you make? From the very beginning, you made something that was wild and full of patterns, and you took the time to lay little things out. So keep using your imaginations, because they are awesome and you can make great things. And I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to do something maybe a little bit different and join me for so many cool art lessons. I had a great time. So you guys have a great day and keep making awesome pieces of art.